if AI can do what I do, then who am I? This is the most common question asked these days at dinner parties. These buzzy conversations at dinner parties. In Asia, dinner parties, conversations would almost always start with food and questions like, where do I go for the best nasi lemak? Or laksa? Blackthorn durians? Invariably, the topic would turn to AI, and a deluge of debates would follow. Will AI take away my job? What should my son or daughter study? Yes, humanoids. When will humanoids take over the world? What? Did you not see? Just the other day, this crazy acrobatic flips they did. And finally, ending with a solemn thought, is superintelligence about to end humankind? Back at the office, if you're still using Excel, you can build your own app, the typing up your meeting notes. Heard of agents by any chance? No? Well, then you might be greeted with a sneer or nods of sympathy. Oh boy, a dinosaur should be extinct by now. And that's how we start living our lives with an uneasy sense of vulnerability. Well, note to self, stop going to our dinner parties. In our new world, where everything seems to be moving at speed, with barrage of cool kid apps and don't forget the agents, all that, so we can enjoy limitless information, 24/7 connectivity, definitely, and of course, answers at the press of a button. Remarkable progress, won't you say? But yet, why are we feeling anxious, unsettled, and even lost, and more disconnected than ever before? Could it be that in this manic ride of gaining so much so quickly, we have unwittingly left something behind and overlooked the very things that make us human? I work in a robotics world, and my work involves building robots for clinicians to help treat patients in the hospitals. And what I see as the biggest pitfall in the adoption of technology is not technology. It's rarely about the robot. It is this unexplainable, unyielding resistance, and oddly, resistance from users who are the very people the robot is trying to help. Imagine this scenario: a clinician who uses his hands all his professional life to treat his patients. The robot arrives, is handed his controller to control the robot. And now on this panel, he has to move the cursor from the left to the right, and there, yes, there, press the button. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, I can assure you that this simple act can be a real struggle if you haven't done it. Well, I know because I played PlayStation with my son. And so often I would get these OMM, oh, Mom, moments. I said press X, not the circle. Struggling to press buttons is one thing. It is quite another when the same clinician looks around him and sees that his peers, juniors, who grew up all their lives with Xbox, get it and excel with it. He starts to question himself. Well, what about my 30 years of clinical experience? Does it not matter anymore? I realized at that moment that more than just job displacement, the resistance and fear come from something more fundamental. The AI revolution is changing the way we relate to ourselves and to others. It is challenging our sense of competencies, our autonomy, and our sense of belonging. And yes, we all have our OMMs. And in moments like these, it is easy to feel vulnerable, defeated, because the rule for success, which we thought we knew so well, appears to have changed. For moms, not only do you have to cook up a great meal, now you have to learn to press buttons and make sure you press the right ones too. No matter how hard we try, we find ourselves falling behind, feeling judged, and we withdraw, we disconnect. And regretfully, I stopped playing PlayStation with my son. Through all these, we lost sight of the most powerful human capacities, curiosity and connection. This is the paradox of our time. We're getting so incredibly good at innovation, while at the same time, we're losing our capacity to innovate as humans. In our new world, where all answers come at the press of a button, we stop doing things that make us human, asking questions, connecting, and exploring. We start to lose our curiosity. And when we are less curious, we listen less, we're less present, and shallow relationships prevail. All these are shaping the very foundation of innovation. And it is a real paradox because humans are born with such huge capacities for creativity. We see that in children. For an adult, children can be annoyingly inquisitive. They wear you down, don't they, with their endless questions. Children are intuitively playful. They play with literally nothing and everything. Simple sticks, blocks. They play using their immense imagination. They have imaginary conversations. They're not limited by any boundaries. I'll always remember this conversation I had with Kyle, my son, when he was 3. Kyle, what birthday present are you giving Daddy? A bit of an unfair question, you might say, for a 3-year-old, but I'm a tiger mom, you see. After the cat, he hooked up and he said, "A green one, Mummy. I'm going to give Daddy a green present." Well, clearly he had no clue. Or perhaps he thought all presents were just things wrapped in green. But that is precisely my point. Children are inherently bold. They're not afraid to make mistakes. Don't even know what that means. What we see in children are human traits, mastery, that across history have given us the real edge. Sadly, these human traits are promptly becoming forgotten. As we grow older, we're taught to follow rules, comply, and follow a fixed path towards a narrow definition of success. Be a doctor, a lawyer. Yes, got to live in a condo with a swimming pool, you know. Start to fear failure. And it gets worse. Now, we're losing even more of these traits. With so much help available from AI, we are outsourcing our thinking and creative work to AI. And the more we outsource, the more we rely on default answers. Not knowing becomes a taboo, so best not ask any question. And naturally, we stop discovering. And something else happens. We start to believe new is good, old is better, and novelty is best. But my contention is, some of the most powerful ideas are not new, are they? Think of wisdom, insights, and even practices that have existed for centuries, which we disregard as old. We don't even notice them because, well, they're not new. But innovation is not always about creating something new. Sometimes all it takes is looking at an issue or a solution with a different set of lens from different perspectives. Let me share an example which is close to my heart. At some point in our lives, we stop sitting on the floor. Don't even notice it. But more importantly, we stop getting up from the floor. Our world changed around us. Chairs got invented, sofas too. Our life got comfortable. So we stopped practicing one of the most powerful movements our body is designed to do. In many ancient cultures, squatting, sitting on the floor were not exercises. They're part of life. And my mother, who's 80, still does many of her daily activities from the floor, playing with the dog, gardening, cleaning. She gets up and down from the floor dozens of times a day, but she doesn't see these as exercises. Well, in fact, she's training her strength, balance, coordination, and control all in one movement. And more importantly, she is preserving something profound. Her intrinsic capacity, which is closely linked to health and longevity. Sadly, for many of us, we have engineered that movement out of our system. Well, I know this because I tested it with my friends at dinner parties. Can you squat? Have you tried squatting recently? Yet another commonly asked questions at dinner parties these days, and along with people popping up from the floor, just to show that they can do it. They can't really. But this simple ability to pop up from the floor is not just a movement. It is an indication of how well different parts of your body are working together and how well you are aging. What if we can measure this movement with precision and consistency with sensors, data, and AI? Then we would have access to valuable data points that would inform our health conditions and prompt us to take appropriate actions, early interventions to preserve our health and longevity. So you see, something ancient, then something simple can be turned into something quite extraordinary. Ancient wisdom, when revived, could inspire and open a whole new frontier. Building new frontiers is about breaking boundaries beyond what is possible. In our new world, we equate new frontiers to technology. More toys, more machines. But the reality and the hidden truth is building new frontiers is something human because it is derived from our capacity to question, take risks, experiment, crossing domains to find those magical intersections of completely unrelated fields. It takes exploration. Natural question then is, who should create the conditions for these exploration? In our new world, we need leaders who must lead us through this massive transformation. Today, organizations succeed through standardization, size, and scale. We build departments with pigeonhole people based on repeatable work. While in the future, all repeatable work will be done by machines, faster, smarter machines. With so much at our disposal, what we really need are unfettered imagination and creativity to create meaningful possibilities. To succeed, we need conditions, cultures where people feel safe and trusted. Where people are not afraid to fail. And where once again they have the courage to be curious. We need quiet leadership. We need leaders who put people first. Leaders who listen, support, and break silos. We need leaders who foster trust, promote experimentation, and deepen human connections. The AI revolution will not end here. Continuous disruptions will be our new normal. What is important is not how fast we move, but what we bring with us through this manic journey, and how well we shape and preserve who we want to be and who we become in the process. Back to the question, if AI can do what I do, then who am I? Who you are, your values, and what you stand for are defined by the choices you make and the actions you take. Because only with choices and actions can you build the future that you want. A future sparked by boundless imagination, where we celebrate our greatest gifts, curiosity and connection. A future where we hold human values at the core. As you listen to the talks today, I invite you to not just look out for ideas that are new to you, but ideas that you rediscover. Because the future will not be shaped by just AI or technology or simply something new, but by how much we truly value and harness the power of what we have begun to overlook.